Browns back at practice here in Berea for the first time, leaving the Greenbrier, their first practice in front of fans here at Cross Country Mortgage Campus. And Mary Kay, I think the overarching story today was the return of Jerry Jeudy to team drills. We finally got to see Jerry Jeudy on the field playing with Deshaun Watson, and he performed pretty well today.
He really did. It's something that everyone has been waiting for a while because he missed all of mandatory minicamp with a knee injury and then the first 7 days of training camp down at the Greenbrier. He wasn't able to do anything in 7-on-7s or 11-on-11s. So today, first chance to see what he and Deshaun Watson could do together. It was pretty exciting. They connected on a couple of deep balls, including one for a touchdown very late in practice in 11-on-11s. We talked to Jerry Jeudy. He feels like he's not going to miss a beat. He's been taking mental reps. He's ready to go.
Yeah, Amari Cooper, look, he's going to catch everything. We saw that today, but Ashley, it was good to see Jeudy sort of deliver on what I think the Browns believe he can do.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting is right now you look at where Jerry Jeudy's at, where Deshaun Watson is at, and I think maybe some of the biggest questions are how those two guys are going to look together with the deep ball, especially with Deshaun and his shoulder. And we talked about on the podcast last week maybe some of the inconsistencies there late in the week, but some of those plays were really nice. I know Jerry made a really nice catch right down the left sideline right in front of me, and like Mary Kay said, a deep one for a touchdown that actually I think was the final play of practice before they ran some sprints at the end.
Yeah, probably Deshaun Watson's best throw of camp, maybe, that throw to Jerry Jeudy. I thought today, again, still a little bit inconsistent on the deep ball, Mary Kay, but the short and intermediate stuff continues to be there, and we at least did see some downfield completions today.
Yes, we did, and I think that it probably helped to have that off day yesterday. Again, he threw 6 days in a row. That's a lot for somebody coming off of a shoulder surgery. So I think to have that day of rest, to come back, to let everything collate and synthesize and come back out here and go at it again, I think it really, really helped Deshaun a lot. He looked on point for the most part. He looked sharp. The deep ball looks good. These were the first deep balls that he really has completed. The 3 real long ones down at the Greenbrier were either knocked away or just off the mark a little bit, but he's starting to heat up in that regard.
Yeah, Jalen Darden came back and caught one that was a little bit underthrown. The one to Jeudy, I can't decide if it was intentionally underthrown or not, but the point here is the ball got completed deep, and they just need to start seeing some of those things, Ashley.
Yeah, I mean, I was especially excited to see that a little bit just because when I was at the Greenbrier, it was the early portion of camp, still the very early portion of camp, so we weren't seeing a ton of much of anything yet in that regard with those deep passes. So I do think having not seen them practice since last Monday, it's Sunday now, it felt like a tangible difference to me being out here today in Berea.
Okay, a couple other injury notes. Elijah Moore is in the concussion protocol, I think we can say. Kevin Stefanski didn't want to just come out and say it, but the way he was talking about it, Mary Kay, it felt like he was in the concussion protocol. So unfortunately, still no chance to see the entire group of receivers together. But Myles Garrett was back today, even though not doing teamwork.
Yeah, so Jerry Jeudy comes back, Elijah Moore goes out. So they're going to have to wait a little while before they can see this whole offense put together with those top 3 receivers. But as you mentioned, Myles Garrett back out here in some individual drills. That's a good sign. No 7-on-7 yet for him, no 11-on-11s, but he's moving towards being able to play pretty soon.
And, just seeing Myles out there, Ashley, we saw him running a little bit on whatever day we were at the Greenbrier. What was that, Friday? He was kind of running after practice, but just seeing Myles on the field, you remember, man, this guy just looks different than everybody else. But the rest of that defensive line looked good today, too. I know Z had a sack, maybe another sack as well, so the defensive line looking sharp early.
Yeah, another guy I thought maybe had a couple of sacks, would-be sacks, I should say, was Quentin Jefferson, who he's a guy we've talked about a lot. He had quite a few sacks last year coming from the interior. We've talked about him possibly being an underrated pickup. And again, I asked Za'Darius Smith about this today. That defensive line has been pretty thin with their depth at practice so far. We know they're an incredibly deep unit, but between Myles ramping up, between Dalvin Tomlinson being out after having that knee scope, Shelby Harris being out with an injury currently, we still haven't gotten to see that group at its full strength yet either, which I think, from what we've seen from them so far, that's a good sign for where things are headed.
And just another quick note, Denzel Ward continues his strong camp. He had an interception today of Deshaun Watson. We'll cover everything that happened here. Browns' first practice in Berea as they are beginning to ramp up for the preseason. They have a game on Saturday night getting closer. We'll cover it all at cleveland.com/Browns.